back, baby. We back. ODDPod, BALL, all mixed together in one. I don't know. We might switch it up and split it up, but that's neither here nor there. It's your boy MARC.
You got POD RASHID. You already know. Pod Rashid.
Guilty.
We in here. Right. We in here.
We in this bitch. We in here after, one of us went to WWE SmackDown. And we're going to talk about that in the lead up to the Elimination Chamber that happened in Chicago. We got your boy yours truly, just leaving the UofL women's basketball game against Notre Dame, which we lost in a very entertaining fashion. So we'll talk about that and everything in between on the sports tip when it comes to UofL sports and whatnot. If you are not watching on the video, me and Rashad are rocking two of the coldest UofL baseball jerseys. Yeah, I got on the white one. He got on the black one.
What'd he say on the TikTok? He said, I'm one of the coldest niggas to ever live.
And you are though, Rashad.
Right. Was like, right. I guess ain't the first time he's talked about this.
They were like disciples of Jesus, my guy. I'm gonna get into first.
We can start local and a little fun in SmackDown, and then work our way out of the chamber. No pun intended.
Out of the chamber. I felt slightly racist. I felt slightly something in the accent I was talking in. Don't compliment, my skin tone don't compliment that accent.
Yikes.
You more of a East African, if anything. But anyways, me and my dad, this will segue perfectly. We get a new garage door and my parents, I think they ordered the wrong size. So we rented a U-Haul, went to go pick it up, brought it here, unloaded it. This is an 18-foot garage door. This is not a normal one either. It's supposed to be 5 panels. It was only 4. He brought it all the way here, opened it up. I'm like, this ain't the right size door. So then we have to wait till another day, take it back, pick up the new one, bring that one back. So on our way coming from Indiana, because we got it from the Menards in Indiana, we're driving across, and this is the day of SmackDown. And looking at the Yum Center, I look to my right over by the refinery. I see nothing but about 50 semis. And I'm like, and my dad's like, that's all for wrestling? And I'm like, Mark, they bring the show on the road with them, bro. Like the stage, the entrance, like that's all them. They bring everything with them. The ring. Anything they might need on top of that, you feel me? And then on top of that, the wrestlers themselves, you feel me? So it's just like, and I'm sure not even all of them were there. I'm sure some probably hurry up and slid up to Chicago a day early for the Elimination. Yeah, for the chamber. So it wasn't even all of it. So they definitely brought the show to Louisville. And unfortunately I didn't go, but your boy Pod Rashid was there. First-hand investigation. Tell us what you saw.
I was in there.
Tell us what. Hold on. Before we even get into this, my sister went too. She says wrestling is sus. She said when Miz got powerbombed and his crotch was in your boy's face, she said that was one of the top sus moments. I know you yourself heard that comment from somebody besides you. I won't say her name. And then she pointed out that she thought the people with the best outfits won most of the time, and that if we can bet on wrestling, that's actually the way you hedge. She wants to hedge towards the outfits, actually, if you pay attention to those. Those are just some few things I want to get started with and see if you notice any of that before we get to rest stuff.
So it ain't the first time I've heard that about wrestling. I mean, it is what it is. It is grown men in tights doing wrestling moves on each other. But at the same time, it's just paying for people's livelihoods and families, just like on some real shit. So like, it is what it is. It's an art. We had the wrestlers on a couple of weeks ago, so we got into all that. If you want to know like firsthand thoughts from a wrestler, go back and check each NIC episode of the iPod. I ain't gonna get into all that. The other thing, you mentioned her hedging the bets towards the best outfits. I was just waiting. You good? I was just waiting because I want to see like your reaction to the shit.
No, you good.
I never thought about it that way of the best outfits. Get it? Are the winners? Mm-hmm. You could think of it like this, if that's something she noticed. If you know that you're getting a little push, you're winning often, you're going to look good, or you're going to try and get some of the best threads. So it could be a little correlation. But when you start getting into the main event scene, I wouldn't bet on that because they in the main event for a reason. Now, tell her if she followed the stories for real or just understood like wrestling on a deeper level, you would kind of know who's going to win. Like I probably get about 80% of my matches right. Like 8 out of 10 matches, this person's gonna win. Sometimes there's surprises that shock everybody watching. I mean, the biggest wrestling fans are sitting there like, what? Because it's like, yeah, we got you. Most of the time, based on the storyline, they reuse a lot of stories from the past. So like, you're like, this happened back whenever. I know how it's gonna go based on that storyline. In the lower card matches, that could be an actual thing. Like he looked better, literally. Like his clothes is better. He's probably gonna win them because he got more invested in himself. Like just so. Anyways, though, yeah, I was there too. Not the biggest WWE fan nowadays, and everybody always say this thinks that's wrestling, but whatever. More of an AEW guy, but my nephews, they wanted to go. It was coming, and the 3 that went are just huge Jey Uso fans. So they was like, we gotta go. They had on the Jey Uso glasses with the yeet painted. You already know we're gonna put that up. So they're excited, and of course, my brother and my brother-in-law is like, you going? I'm like, all right, I'll slide with y'all. So I go, and just an event, really. And to people who like don't have somebody who's like been to a wrestling show or like know somebody that knows wrestling, it's just an event. Like you ain't gotta take it serious. You can go and laugh and whatever. Just get some drinks. It's at the Yum Center. So you can just go do your thing if you ever want to go to a wrestling show, like especially WWE. That's the mecca of like.
Basically, you saying you don't got to be a hardcore follower every week in order to go pop in and be entertained, enjoy, have a good time. And not even just from the wrestling, but like the actual event, being at the Yum Center, it looked fat. And Rashad looked fat. So that's why I'm like, the atmosphere seemed like it was
nice. It's a live crowd, meaning, and that literally alone will make a wrestling show better. If it's a dead crowd, you just feel like, dang, you niggas ain't making no noise.
Right.
But we had a live crowd, so shout out to the people of Louisville for that.
Shout out to Louisville's wrestling scene.
You don't realize how much better you make the TV product look when you're chanting everything and everybody's hyped. When it's dead, that TV product, it almost hurts to watch because you just like, dang, they in there giving they all and ain't nobody reacting. So there's that.
Does WWE usually come here once a year, you would say?
Yeah, I would say on average probably maybe twice if you consider SmackDown and then Raw.
Raw comes here too?
Here.
Okay, I was about to, maybe later in the year.
In a while. Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna have to look more into that. But
either
SmackDown
way,
at least once a year for sure.
Either way, that's like that's a nod to the fans here. It's not just necessarily like our closeness to like OVW or Ohio Valley Wrestling. Yes, it's not like necessarily our closeness to that or blah, blah, blah. It's just that, like you said, that's a risk to do a live crowd with anybody. But having that confidence to come to the Yum Center, like, we know this is going to pop. Nashville did the same. Shout out Nashville. So I don't know if there's something like necessarily in this region when it comes to wrestling just in general. And I know when you start getting up north, Ohio, there's a lot of wrestlers. Like we've talked about it before. Ohio's made a lot of wrestlers, haven't they? So, and then like you said, and then we've talked to HNIC. Y'all need to go check that episode out where we talked to wrestlers, a tandem who's been in, 20, as old as we've been, as long as we've been alive, they've been wrestling at a professional levels. Tennessee, how back in the day, I couldn't think of it. Memphis wrestling. That's what I was trying to think of. Memphis wrestling. So like just that triangle just between it is like, I don't know. It's something that can be slept on. It's something that we don't, in a town that's all basketball, a city that's all basketball, and then Brahma football, just these, and horses and bourbon, and wrestling's not put up there, but it's definitely more, it seems to be more than respectable when it comes to, or more than respected when it comes to just our ability to pop out and support a product.
The territories started, like Memphis was one of the big territories. That's what Vince McMahon, the one that y'all know, up from his dad, it was in those territories and stuff. And then he was like, yeah, I'm putting everybody out of business. And there you have it. That's why it's so big. That's why nobody is as nearly as big as it. But that was Memphis, Tennessee, like this area, like, yeah. Hotbed, like OVW's here. OVW was a feeder system to WWE not long ago. Randy Orton, John Cena, Batista, people that don't watch wrestling, y'all gonna know them. They came right from OVW. OVW is freaking what, old ship or something like, so
Right
it's
around the
crazy.
corner from me. Right
They
around the corner.
came right through here, and we used to get little nods on TV and stuff. Like it'll be a package that appears on TV, and they be like, "What is this?" And then, but on it, it'll be like Louisville, Kentucky. Like it's so
Shut out
it
the
is a
game.
part of us,
It's not just bourbon. It's not just baseball bats. It's,
right? We got wrestling too. Add that to it. But back to the actual Friday night. So I told you my nephews wanted to see Jey Uso. Before Friday, I thought about it and I was like, hey y'all, Jey Uso ain't gonna be on the show because he's a
he's gonna be at
Monday
the
Night
Elimination
Raw
Chamber.
wrestler.
Oh, I
So
didn't. He's Raw.
yeah, he's on the Raw
Was
roster,
Elimination Chamber
but
both?
it's combined.
That's what I thought. That's what I was gonna say.
So I'm like, but he might not pop up here, but he actually would have if
Really?
he didn't get hurt. So that's how the show started. If you watch the TV product,
I didn't. I didn't jump into about 9:00.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Backstage, he got beat up by somebody.
Who, Jey
And I
did?
guess how it started. Yes, he's on the ground. They put him in an ambulance. Like, so I was like
Shut
looking
up.
at them like, dang, y'all. I mean, y'all see him. He's back there. He got his ass beat. Like,
He saw you, and it came in with all this stuff. They came in, Uso'd out, and got
right.
waxed.
So
And he still
that
hurt too.
happened. Yeah, he didn't compete in the chamber. Like they replaced him. I don't. Usually when something like that happens, sometimes it's part of the story, like from the beginning, but sometimes
Sometimes
he
it's
could have
needed.
had a little injury.
Yep, do Ex
And they were like, we
Machina.
got to pull you out. Right. So this is how we gonna do it. So I'm not sure. I ain't looked that much into it, but seeing Randy, seeing Cody Rhodes, seeing the WWE champion Drew McIntyre with the actual belt. So that was cool. I was like telling them like, that's the championship. Like that's it right there. And my personal favorite right now, Trick Williams. My
Whoop
personal
that
favorite
trick.
in WWE.
Whoop that trick.
Trick Williams
Whoop
for
that
sure.
trick.
So
Whoop
he came
that
out,
trick.
cut a little
If y'all didn't see him,
promo.
he was on WDRB Fox News
DRB.
during this week, in the all-white suit. And
Mhm.
I got a picture of it, so I'll put it up probably.
He calls his shoes the lemon pepper steppers, which reminds
The
me of certain
lemon
someone.
pepper steppers.
Shout out Big and Lazy. Go get you
Shout out.
some.
What are you talking about? The
lemon
lemon
pepper
pepper
steppers.
steppers, boy. They're a little dirty. I done used them up a little bit, but
That's a good sign.
that's
That
a good
means
product.
you
That's a good
rocking 'em.
product. That's a good product. So shout out Big and Lazy, man. BigandLazy.com, man. Whatever you need, whatever you want, support your community. If you
Right.
need and the thing is man, I need an apron to grill in. He got him. I need a shot glass or something like that. He got him. I just advise people to think like that. Like when you start getting small things, or just not even small things, just things in general, it's think about who you could get them from instead of getting it from a Walmart or a Target or this and that. Those are the things that create more opportunity for people in our own communities, and who never knows where those opportunities lead. Most of the time they lead back to us, which is crazy. But anyways.
And I need to take that advice as well, because I go to Walmart for anything.
It is true, but that's one thing,
advice.
when it comes to, things that I try to just a lot of clothes and things like that, I try to more so try to get from people now, and t-shirts and, just things
Shirts,
like that.
I'm on that. I love shirts.
If there was somebody who made a good if there was someone who made a good pair of pants, just jeans and pants that fit me well, because there's a lot of people I feel who do shirts, and a lot of people do sweatpants and shorts, but just a good pair of pants, I feel that's missing. It's the Larry June effect. Where's the mature rap? Where's just the dependable pants? I feel men that would go crazy. So
It
dependable,
would. They'd
a
say
few
them.
different ones.
I'm sure the reason why it's not done is because I could only imagine how much it costs to start that, and you scared to am I gonna make that back? Is people gonna really want this?
Because it don't it would have to somehow pop. You don't have to make it pop somehow. Something.
So
There's gotta be something.
Sweatpants, just go buy a bulk and throw something on. So I can understand why.
In comparison to a good pair of jeans costs probably, I don't know. But anyways.
I got one more thing so then we had the show right before Elimination Chamber, as he said. So next night was in Chicago. I didn't watch it. So Danhausen debuted. Danhausen is this comic relief wrestler. Paints his face
R-Truth?
Yes, except think of
Except
him
it's
as
white.
like he's white but he's like a 90s, he's like cartoon villain. Like you just got to see him to
Like
understand what I'm
Goofy?
talking
Like
about.
Goofy?
He's silly. Like he paints his face. He looks like a vampire. He has like his cape on. So like you got to check it out and watch some
Why do you mean
segments.
he debuted though? What do you mean by that? Because you
So he
talking
was in
like you already know
AEW.
him.
Yes, he's been wrestling even before AEW.
Was that his stick in AEW as well?
That's been his stick for a long time. And he was in AEW, got put off TV. He hadn't been on TV, but he had to serve out his contract. Finally was up. WWE for like the last couple of weeks have been teasing. It was like this big box that was delivered to them on SmackDown like a couple weeks ago. And they was like, don't open till Elimination Chambers. Like, who's it going to be? A lot of people thought it was Chris Jericho.
Okay.
So I'm going to be honest with you.
Who's Sweet Chin Music? Because that's why I was trying to tell Shawn Michaels. Keep going though. She was like, Sweet Chin Music. I'm like,
you should have showed her. I'm just playing.
I explained it to her in a way where it was like, anyways, want me to do it to you?
So the box appears and then like his music hits and it was a small pop at first, meaning people were like, oh. And then when people realized that was it, like they started booing a little bit. So I like a lot of people are defending it and that's cool, like whatever. But I personally think they should have chose a different way to debut him being who he is. And like, it's like the nature of his gimmick. I'm just like, you hype people up. It felt like it was gonna be a big name or just somebody like shit. And it was like, it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, we like Danhausen. He's funny. Like,
yeah. Do you feel like WWE's been doing that more where they've been missing on their teases where it's like a John Cena storyline and they shit it, they piss it away, or a Jey Uso storyline and he's only a champion for this long, or this storyline and it's just like, that's all it was? Just like, do you feel like they've been swinging and missing at a higher rate, or do you feel like they've just been swinging and missing in general, just like you're like, it's his ass? Or do you feel like, no, they've had some good ones in there as well?
I think it's at a higher rate. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I literally don't watch the shows. I keep up with it because I just follow so much wrestling stuff, but I do not watch the shows because it's boring to me. It just is. But no, Triple H has definitely whiffed on some stuff. And it's to the point where I'm like, is TKO telling you to do this stuff? But you got to be the face of it. So you're going to take that heat. Or is this your stuff? Because he had some good ideas when he was running NXT before he got called up to run everything. Like NXT was hot, like the original version a few versions ago. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. The only thing that saves them is that they are WWE. They're so far ahead of everybody. Imagine the man with $5 billion. He can piss away $1 billion and he's still going to be ahead of her. You know what I mean? It's like, that was nothing to me. I'll actually make that back. Like, it's whatever. So like I'm saying, just as an analogy, like they're so far ahead of everybody else. And then they got a lot of people that take up for them. They'll be like, man, I'm like, bro, if I know I say this a lot, but I'm like, y'all shit on AEW for certain things that then you'll see on WWE and be like, almost taken up for it. And I'm just like, but to make it plain and simple, AEW has been consistent over the last 2 years. Like, just hit. It might not always be a home run, but they're getting 2 bases. They're getting on base every time.
Right.
It's a hit. Sometimes WWE's trying to smack it out of the freaking ballpark and they whiff it. And I'm just like, that was weak. That was weak. So I don't know what to say, but just
is what it is.
Right. It is what it is. Last thing though about the actual Elimination Chamber, Randy Orton won the men's part. So he gets to go to WrestleMania to fight the other champion. And I just want to say shout out to him. He's been in the business for a long time. He's one of those that came up through OVW. His dad was a wrestler, so he could have used that to kind of politic his way up, but he didn't. He was an arrogant young dude in real life. Like, he was called up early and but it's because he had the ability. But, just through life, he matured and became like a locker room leader. He never left for like Hollywood to be like, oh, I want to go with this. Like I think in his head, he is a wrestler. He's like, I'm a wrestler. Like, it's what I am. It's what I do.
He could easily been a Batista.
Right.
Easily.
No, and that's not a bad thing, but yeah, right. He could have,
Easily though.
and did
Batista's
something
he's
else.
good at what he does. I like Batista
Yep,
for real. He's
he
he's
is.
really is, and I feel like Orton could have been that. I don't know if Orton's older. I feel like
I think
I don't know who came
Batista's
in
older.
early. Okay, I was about to say.
They came in about the same
That's what I
time,
was about to
which like,
say. That's what I was about to
but
say.
Batista
With
was
him
already
coming in,
older.
with Randy coming in so early, so I'm like, he could have easily, you know, he could have easily taken that route to me, where he could have done whatever he wanted to. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Depending on however talented he is, you know what I'm saying? But it's just no. I agree with you. Shout out to him. Shout out to
Shout out to Randall Orton.
Randall, the young buck, the young. Sometimes it's just how it is. That's just life. I feel like I was like that a little bit, where it's just like, you good, nigga, but like, you need to chill out a little bit. Understand
Right.
it's bigger than just being good at something.
Exactly.
But nonetheless, when he figured it out, now look at him. So that's why you
So,
necessarily can't judge a young buck who is like it, because I felt like if someone just saw through me in my time like it, I've been like, okay, but life's. You do what you do. It works
yep.
out the way it works out, and you end up where you end up. So interesting.
But
Interesting.
that's all I got for wrestling. No, it was a nice right. I'm about to send you that video.
Who Trick? What was his match? Who's his match against?
He was in the chamber.
So he didn't fight Thursday.
No, he just came out, talked, and then all the people that were in the chamber was, they do the little talk, and then it ends up in a brawl. Everybody ends up fighting, and that was their little segment, because they don't want to do too much the night before, and they're literally going into the chamber to fight. So
Exactly.
it
Damn,
was cool though.
that's what's up, man. Trying to think. I got
It was
pineapple. I got pineapple in my water for the H3Os. You feel me? Shout out Mace. Before we even get into anything else, shout out to Forrestt, man. Shout out to our past episode. You'll need to go catch that. That is a gem. Like, that's a dense ass episode. That's one you can chew on for a little bit. So shout out to Mace. He's done everything from work on Feed the Streets 2, Roddy Rich's tape that really got him to the next level. His first one with Atlantic, I think. Worked with countless others. He's a Cub Scout turned owner of his own outdoor lifestyle clothing brand. I mean, there's so much, bro. There's so much with dude. Like, there's so many stories. I gotta check him out. Not only that, man. Shout out Dom D. Otez, Shy, Alan Weiss, Hendo Dini, Oogs Forrest, Horace Gaither, all them Shively, non-Shively, somewhat Shively adjacent. Everybody down there, you feel me? Shout out, speaking of that, shout out Southwick, shout out Cash Mob, shout out Cash Money, shout out Cash Rick, Jake's Son Project, go check that out. New Valentine single by Cash Rick, Ignorant. I really like that song. I showed my pops that song. He was messing with it. Like, I literally like it. I'm like, Rick's alright. He be playing. Rick, you be playing. I mess with that though. Like the realness of
no,
like his shit. You feel me? Like I feel like it's a
right.
song that like the girls can bump, but also the dudes can be like, yeah, like like straight up.
Right.
Like,
For
so
real.
that's dope. Shout out SME, shout out Self-Made, shout out Marty, 808. I think Mark Stone's about to drop, so check out Mark Stone. Shout out Southside Mike if you haven't seen that episode. These all, between Cash Mob, Southside Mike, Forrest, these are our last few episodes, along with Study and Bill Legend and his album, which me and Rashad regard as the best drop of the year. No offense to anybody who's dropped, but my goodness, Study, STXD.
I hit him up today. I was like, I need you to throw that on YouTube Music, because that's where I listen to my stuff is on YouTube Music. Like, I got Spotify, but I don't know why I just don't really like
Use it,
listening on
right.
Spotify.
I don't
But
either.
I want him to put that on there, so I'm pushing for that. See what he say about that.
Yep. That's a dope ass. He's follow Study, man. We got magazines for him that keep getting pushed back. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what else to say. I'm doing the best I can. It's the company. So might go somewhere different. Right. We might go somewhere different next time. We ain't gonna say your name. We just gonna sneak dish you. So I'm trying to think. The music scene is just there's a musical renaissance going on. Well,
Hey,
Kentucky, you
bro,
need to pay attention. Shout out Tone Salone. I mean, he needs to drop his shit. That's what I'm saying.
drop.
Like, drop Tone.
We actually
Drop
might make
Tone.
this a clip, and just to put some pressure on him, Tone.
Yeah,
Need a
like
drop.
Tone.
Come back on her. Let us
Yep.
help you put the word out a little bit.
Yep.
Like, you know what's up. But no, for real, if you don't believe us right here, right now, go look at our last 3-4 months of interviews first off. And then from those people, go to their profiles and their people they shout out and just keep going from there and like see who's connected. Like, and if you don't think there's a renaissance right now, like
You're crazy. You're
you're
crazy.
crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like Shy doing stuff for Forrestt and Horace Gaither with Otez and Hendo and Allen with Shy producing the beat and Bryson Tiller on it with him. You feel me? And then Wine and Sloob with, you feel me? And like once you actually step in and then start to see the circle and who's in that circle and how they make and get their shit off, you'd be like it's deeper than that. Like it's almost like they got every style for you and everyone's making really good shit, bro. Like I feel like I literally have somebody for everything. Shout out June, people we're gonna have on, June Dwayne, Official Mega, Montana. I mean, just people we want to have on. Like I said, like
As far
Otez
as
and
music,
Horace and DJ.
hey,
Was it
send me
DJ?
the
Oh
whole
yeah, the
crew.
whole SME group. Like I said, all the shops. Like we want y'all on, man. We're gonna get through
Cash
all of
Rick.
this. Cash Rick's on be
I ain't
on.
forgot about none of y'all.
So Fly, somebody want on like One Take, when I have One Take Timmy on,
Peasy.
Peasy, like I said, the whole SME little group. So it's just Wine, like I said, just all of that, bro. So like we're gonna get to it all. We're gonna get to it, but it's crazy. It's crazy. So tap in,
It's
please.
only two of us.
It's
Give
only
us
two. And then tap in with Jethro Petro. Make us a clip. Tap in with Jethro Petro, his songs of the day and his playlist curation. And he's really tapped in with just good music. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't follow that. Like, just me personally, if you're in love with music, like, follow him because he's going to give you a song of the day off top. You may know it, you may not know it, but who else is doing that around you? And a lot of those people who we're talking about are on his playlist. Like, you would know type thing. So it's just like, if you want to know, follow Jethro Petro and he'll get you together.
And any of these people, if you want to find them, hit us up.
Hit us up.
One of our personal pages, like we can lead you in the right direction.
And we generally repost his stuff like when he posts it, like just to let y'all know. So like follow us too, and you will see the stuff. Like I promise you, like you will see the stuff. So it's just we're all interwoven together.
Yep. All right, let's keep it moving. I got one more little small thing, and then we can start getting into. I feel like it'll take a serious little turn, which is
It will. So go
the
ahead.
other stuff we got. Shout out to Louisville legend Teddy Bridgewater. My man got an act named after him, the Teddy Bridgewater Act. That's in Florida. It's a 2026 Florida legislative initiative allowing K through 12 public school head coaches to spend up to annually to
15 to 20.
$1,000 annually of their own funds on student athlete support, including meals, transportation, and equipment. It was named after Teddy because in 2025, if you're from Louisville, you probably already know, he was covering players' costs and they just deemed it illegal. And a lot of people, it was a lot of backlash. It's like, bro, like, I mean, he's just supporting them with simple stuff like we just mentioned, meals and transportation and equipment, just making sure they're good, like on and off the field, like not even getting high school players cars and stuff, but like real stuff, real problems that happen in urban areas. So like I'm glad that came through. That's God on his side because he was, being real about that stuff. So like that's God. It's legally like a thing now that you can do that because of him stepping up and doing that. So shout out to Teddy.
I appreciate Teddy for doing that. But I will play devil's advocate with this and say, right, exactly. And say, this is from a totally different standpoint. That's good for Teddy. But what about the non-Teddies? What about the people who can't afford to give 15 money each year in order to, even if they wanted to, they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Specifically from the head coaching position. Even if they could, that almost starts to put it at a disadvantage where it's like, it's weird because it's not really a disadvantage, but it's almost like what happens when people start using that to, well, I use $15,000 of my funds to do this when it's like you really used it to like recruit kids or like give them something to other kids. You know what I'm saying? I just wonder about that Pandora's box to where like now people are like, that was such a bad thing. That was such, they just flip the script on it, you know what I'm saying? Which our country has a tendency to do with some policies under this current administration. But anyways, no, just from that standpoint. And then like, let's look at like, we'll get into this later, but like, like, seriously, the head coach has to spend his money to support a program, then don't have the program because the program isn't sustainable. It isn't. Maybe we should back off and focus on just the core principles of the school then. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there don't need to be football. Maybe we need to work on, football is it's an add-on. It's not the thing. Like, maybe we're too focused in where it's like everyone should have the right to play football. It's like football is just football. Everyone should have the right to go to school and get an education. And if the school and the neighborhood and everything in that setting is that down to where it's like half of ours, this needs more support and this and that, then we need to focus on giving more support to this or that instead of trying to figure out how we can, support just a small finite group of kids on something that I think we're attacking the wrong problem, and we're making people who are already doing this as a job and getting paid for it to spend their own money in order to support the place they chose to take a job at. Like, it's just weird. Like, that's just weird to me. What if your job asked you to do that? Yeah, we want you to be the top in our region, but you don't have to pay your own money in order to do it, though. I took a promotion, I got to spend my own money.
Like, right, that's where your extra money's going.
Teddy can do it, but what about the people? What about everybody else?
Right. This is a problem kind of in Louisville. Like, just sometimes I think we need less schools, which would push more resources into certain schools.
It would
And
just,
I don't know the scene in Florida, you know what I mean, how it is. I don't know how many they got, how much of a disruption that would be for some, students to get to school if it's like, hey, I know this one was right down the street, but we're going to ask you to the school that's a couple miles down there. Like, we're going to still transport there, but that could be a solution. A little pushback on, I hear you about, like, I understand what you're saying, attacking the wrong problem, like, for real. But also, there's going to be certain families that are going to be like, well, shit, that was my son's opportunity out of here to get us out of here. If they took away this school's football program, like, shit, we going to be here the rest of my life. If that were to happen, there's going to be some pushback from that standpoint of like, Johnny's cold. He really got a chance. And you telling me that, like, they taking the program away? Like, what we gonna do now? So just that. Last thing, what you're talking about, don't that sound like something we got going on here right now for the last we've been watching sports in high school, St. X and Trinity? Is that not?
I mean, that's where it was going to kind of lead to, is the have and the have-nots, and you kind of the overall effect then that becomes as the margin grows on that alone. Ty Scroggins may have been a hell of a coach winning state championships year after year and getting people in the D1 schools, but he was at Central. So how can you really attract more than just your neighborhood kids to Central? That's what also made Ty so good to me. Every other person in Louisville had more than neighborhood kids at their disposal. Even the traditional system is a system set up for a huge plot of kids that Butler, this or that, if you don't go to Male. But Male can take all the best kids from all the traditional schools and bring them there as well. Manual's a magnet school. We can just grab whoever, wherever, however, as long as they're in the county. Ballard can do the same with basketball. So can Eastern. And I'm talking about in terms of attracting, not necessarily just doing. Central didn't. Central can't. Who do you think needs more help after practice and things like that? And I'm sure where people are like, well, if they're in the neighborhood and this and that, blah, 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 then it should be close or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like, that's just neighborhood so it's just like, who needs what kids need more resource, more help, more help after practice when it comes to getting home and the resources that lie in between and all that stuff. St. X, Trinity, Manual, Male, Ballard, Eastern, or Central.
More than likely gonna be Central. Let's just be real.
And that's just in comparison, and because then we can say Central in comparison to Shawnee, Dawson, this and that, and blah blah, and the Valley, and then Central's at the top of that list too. So I'm not saying that, and it is 3A and it is smaller. We're not saying that. We're just saying what school probably, when it comes to sports, needs more help when it comes to resources in comparison to schools like ours who have and probably robust boosters and just programs even outside of just that's just me. That's just the way I look at it, where it's like, but what if that school didn't have a Teddy? Like, I want him to do it. I don't think he should have to do it because I think the people should support the system. It's their system. It's not Teddy's football program. It's that school. The school's supported by a state. It's a public school. I just don't have the program if you can't support the people in the program. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to Teddy. It's not fair to nobody. That's the way I feel about it. I'm not saying Teddy's wrong. I'm saying the system's wrong for making Teddy do that. Good for Teddy for doing it out of the goodness of his heart. Not everybody's Teddy from the goodness of their heart or from the money standpoint.
I understand what you're saying. Damn, nigga got to do everything. You know what I mean?
I just don't want the next nigga to have to do it. That's my whole premise.
Right.
That's all it is.
I think it should be a case-by-case basis. Let's say an area really is like struggling, just all the schools there. And instead of making the choice for them, like, all right, your school elects a couple people to come talk to the board and they get a gist of, would it be better for y'all for us to close this down? Or would you rather struggle like you're struggling, if you're having problems and that's causing y'all to lose, but there's still like, hey, I'll take that struggle over y'all just eliminate it. Like, leave it up to those people to decide, like, that type of thing. I don't know if that's ever been done. I'm throwing stuff out there, but just something like that. And that leaves it up to them. Like, I do want these young men in my school to focus on other stuff because this stuff ain't working. Or, yeah.
We just can't offer that. We just can't offer that. Somebody else can offer it. We can offer it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? We can offer it, but what are the alternatives? That doesn't involve. It's the state's fault. It's the state's fault.
So it's almost like letting them off the hook.
It's like you should have, like, if you have people doing and this isn't just football. I don't think of this as a football thing. Think of this as all after school things at all high schools that you offer. There should be some alternative forms of, I don't know, you get a discount, you got to ride the bus or something like that afterwards. If you can't get somebody to pick you up, here's a discount on, a student, bus pass or something like that. Some alternative where it's like, or just like, I don't know what all Teddy's paying for, but at the end of the day, it could be meals literally for them and their family. There could be things like that, but it's like at the end of the day, I don't know, man. I'm going to sound crazy. I'm about to sound crazy. That's why I'm like, if you're going to have that kid there from 7 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m., it should be the way, like, I work. Like, if I work past 8 hours, I get an extra break. If I work so long, like, there should be something like and again, like, I'm asking too much. Marcus, you're going socialist on this, but like, can we get like a card or something, like, where they can get discounted meals or something, just something where it's like there's an in-between where we're cutting down on the margin. We're not giving them something for free. Like, I never got free lunches, bro. I was never eligible. So like, is there any like eligibility for like people who also follow, just like knowing that, like, I don't know. That's I don't have it figured out, but that's where my mindset is. And like, that's why I say that. That's why I say that, because I believe the state should take care of its people.
I agree with that.
It's an extension of the state, the school is.
Right. Y'all built it.
Our taxes funded, Rashad. Can I not see my taxes go to that? We can get into school budget and all that stuff too. That's a totally different day. The fact that we're building a $70 million school and we have a $138 million deficit, and people were like, why are we doing that? And they were like, well, those are two different budgets. And I'm like, so we have a surplus so we have a construction budget that's still doing numbers and building schools, but we have the other budget who everyone keeps talking about. And while we're going to take things away, why don't we just transfer our money? Never mind. Why don't we just reduce schools? Never mind. All right.
So, we can end it there because we could just keep spiraling off into or going deeper into the actual problem. You know what I mean?
We might as well just go into, did you have some on the war before? Nah, we'll
I really just had I really just had the timeline, so we ain't gotta, we can come back to it, yeah.
I was about to say. So this will lead us to our next thing, Rashad. My thoughts on the current state of the world and late stage capitalism. Brought to you by, partially, because part of this is me and part of this is a black chick I saw who I'll try to put her video in the description. But capitalism sounds good, but what we know truly about the way it works is that it needs a surplus of people at the bottom to make money for the people at the top, who then do not trickle it back down to the bottom, but gain more riches and thus gain more power to do exactly the same thing over and over again, just at a larger degree. Generally, That's how it works. This gets super heavy, like a super heavy at the top, like dude who does no legs, like he's just like it, but like his legs is doing it all for him. And then eventually he gets too big where it's like, I'm gonna have to lose some up top or I'm gonna have to get bigger on the legs. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way capitalism generally works.
And we're in the late stages. I'm not to undercut anything, but we are in the late stages. I'll let Marcus expound on
No,
that.
that's exactly what I was going with it. When it comes to the late stages, it's always in the late stages, Rashad, because it's not sustainable. It's not. I'll get into that in a second, but reasons just to show you, going off the gold standard, the wars that we take and the resources and the money that comes in and all the way to the modern warfare where, corporations are literally making money. Not even modern. That's World War II. Shit. Bush's granddaddy and them was making money during that with the Nazis. Ford and them was selling to the Nazis and stuff. So it's like it got turned more into a corporate thing. And then it stretches all the way back. If you want to go back, to the Spanish-American War, to the taxing on my tea up in Boston,
Party.
yeah, the Boston Tea Party, like it's always like capitalism is always reinventing itself and breaking free in order to restart again. So things like 9/11 when that money went missing. I don't know if that's Donald Rumsfeld. I think that's who it was at the time. But all that money went missing on the same day that the Twin Towers got hit from our government. It's like, I don't know how much it was, 8 billion. It was something stupid, but just money was gone. You can look it up. What people are talking about now with the tariffs being taken and is money going to be given back to the businesses? Even if it's given back to the businesses, how come, what about me? Everyone keeps talking about the businesses. What about Marcus, who paid an increase on his products? How come I don't get something back? Which means you can give the businesses something back, but you're going to keep my money. Where is that money going to go? It's going to go into...
Real quick.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to let you. So a lot of stuff that was conspiratorial 20 years ago, like a lot of people know about this stuff now. So I ain't saying groundbreaking stuff, but like they talk about the U.S. being a business. And then you hear people that, a corporation, right. And you hear people that own businesses like, no, it was built for us. It was built to just a bunch of businesses. So spins right back into what you're saying. Like, yeah, they get the breaks and the stuff. And all the people at the bottom, like you're the legwork, like you're the engine, like behind all of that.
No, if you study this country, it's always had some form of values change, man. Indentured servitude for white people, slavery for black people, not paying a dime and keeping every single dollar, all the way to... Now you see why, you can start to see economically why the South was like, I got to fight you and go to war with you on this one. Because what are we going to do? Like y'all got corporation, y'all got, what's the word? Industrial revolution up there, but we don't. It's not to the degree y'all do. So we still need that.
This is our revolution.
Right, this is it. So they ain't going to get no better. So then now you start having to pay people. And then what do we see in that? We see the buildup of the some of the richest people to ever just amass fortunes in America, from the Vanderbilts and the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and all that in the Industrial Revolution to the Fords, people who own Detroit Lions and stuff still today, and just things with so much
people
influence.
You'll never catch up with.
Yeah, people.
I mean, they
never
are the foundation. Think of somebody he got stupid. He'll never catch up with any of them. Like there's exponentially just as long as this system exists.
And those people help write a lot of the policies and laws that are in today, or even influence them from positions they held within or close to, a lot of government. I would call them like a lot of the modern day, like people who said what we own today. Once we start getting up to those people, they start having to pay. So then we start seeing unions come in because it's like, y'all working this way too much. Y'all putting kids in here. People are dying. Like, ain't no rules. And like, this ain't worth it. We ain't about to keep it, at this. And we're going to talk about the effect of that. So then they're like, all right, we got to pay them more. We got, we got to make their lives a little better. You see why I say this is the state's responsibility to do it, but keep going. So then while we're doing this though, they need more money to sustain their power or to increase it. We're paying people now. So now we going up and it doesn't have the same oomph to it. You know what I'm saying? So when they stop paying, that's why when we talk about businesses, the first thing businesses cut is wages. Like that's the first thing, and like people and jobs and this and that, because that's the easiest thing to do. Now we're at the point, the threshold where you start making people's lives so hard that they don't want to have kids, Rashad. And that'll lead us into why capitalism eats itself and why it needs a reset. Or why me and you go back and talk about the many resets of the orphans coming over. Why, you know what I'm saying? Like it ties it all in, Rashad. And then it goes, if for my conspiracy theorists who wanna, your boy Easting, I don't know if the algorithm be like, don't be liking certain words and shit, but your boy Eastine, you know what I'm saying? That's what's going on with
Allen
people.
boy.
Allen boy, yeah, that's even people who's saying that he created the Allen boys. What are they called?
I
Have you
think
seen
that's
that?
what they call, yeah.
This is what I'm got that goes into the period that people are saying that I've seen about creating people and things like that and blah blah blah. As we say this under a full moon. Unfortunately, if you don't know anything about alchemy, life is created. And for people who don't know, Sir Isaac Newton, he spent 40% of his time on science. He spent 60% of his time on alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone. I ain't gonna say time, I'm gonna say writings, percentage of his writings. He has over 3 million pages on alchemy and things like that. So for people who be like, you weird, Marcus, I don't know if that's true. I believe in alchemy. I believe in the creation of, me and Rashad have done it in middle school, creating a microbiome out of some dirt and some water and watching just life come about within just that little, can't think of that word.
The dish,
Yep.
right. The petri dish.
So watching life, like literally organisms come from us just putting the right ingredients in there. You think if you don't figure those ingredients out in life, that you can't create life? Mini Me and Dr. Evil was just you just feel me? I'm just like, hey, y'all, for anyone who doesn't know, look up the word homunculi. That'll take you on a path. But anyways, point being, back to capitalism, is that you need a large group of people in order to do so. But when you make living so bad that they don't want to have kids, now you got a problem. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar?
Birth rate dropping, that's a problem.
Do you think this is the first time it's ever happened before in history? Gonna get eyed. We're gonna get eyed. By the way I'm talking, people are like, nah, it don't sound like it.
Right.
So if we want to, you know how we overturned Roe v. Wade? Nah, that was big for this administration.
Yo, crazy.
Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Why would we take abortion away?
Gotta listen to my man. I heard what he's saying.
Gosh. So during the olden days of kingdoms and, you know, me and Rashad, we started out as New Renaissance. So before the Renaissance, though, the serfs, you know, it was the leader of that kingdom. We're gonna get into James VI. We'll use him as the example. But as the leader of that kingdom, it was their job to take care of the workers, military servants to a healthy degree, even up to off days where they can, you know, sustain relationships and eat good and wait. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the job of the kingdom. Does that sound familiar about the Teddy Bridgewater conversation? America wants us to work for them, 40 hours a week and more, but they don't want to give us the necessary resources and or pay us the necessary amount to create a life, a healthy life that's happy, that we want to bring, that makes us want to bring 2 children in, 3 children in. So I would just say in our world today as a state, you know, like we talked about, as profit margins increase and wages decrease, people stop having babies. So James VI, his natural response to this was to obviously, what, Rashad? What do you think what his response was to this was? He's seeing this kingdom, capitalism is just not hidden. He needs to do something. What is he going to do, Rashad? What do you think he's going to do?
If we're going off where we're at right now, it sounds like he's like one or two ways. A Roe v. Wade being overturned, you know, for that time. Like, hey, somebody wanted, hey, or we about to grow these people. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I don't think he had the alchemy. So we're going to go with your first one.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. You're going to go one or two ways. So.
One or two ways.
Had your kids, had your wives.
That is literally the perfect one, Rashad. That is perfect. Had your kids. No, make your kids and had your wife.
Right.
James VI, his natural response to this was obviously become the first king of the witch hunt. Now, his mom was Catholic. He's like, I ain't about to be no Catholic. I ain't about to do that. I'm like a Protestant. I don't know what he was, right? So he's like, but if there's one thing people know is that, you know, we talked about the church and how we got to the point where people started breaking away from the church and like, you know, blah, blah. It's probably part of it. He's like, man, uses a story of Eve, and he's basically like, you know how that story of Eve goes with the when she gets tricked by the devil? Nah, man. The spirits of the devil's in the women. I'm gonna write a book about it. It's called Demonology. And it's basically about how women are basically too weak. Like the devil gets them. Like that's what it does. Like it gets to them. Like they're too frail. Like look at them. They're too frail. They're too weak. And the ones that are too strong and like the ones that are really smart. Yeah, the devil wants them bad. No, he wants them bad. So that makes them even worse because the devil wants them more. You can't stop it. So what do we have to do, y'all? Women gotta stay home and have babies. They gotta stay. And any woman who doesn't, she got a demon in her because she's not doing God's will. So if she's old and she can't make babies no more, God don't cast her out. And that's where you get the old lady on, the old lady just by herself, cast out of society, begging, it's her fault. It was her fault. It was her fault. She got a demon in her. Now the town's gonna burn her at the stake. Or that's how you that's how you get the modern narrative of a witch.
Yep.
A woman who lives out by herself, who's doing
the
this or that.
animated versions.
Yep. That's how you get that. That's how it's built. Not even that. What about the woman? People don't think about this. Birth control's been around as long as birth's been around. There's different methods. Wasn't pills, wasn't rings. It was maybe a little more brutal, but they made sure they didn't have kids no more. They did have midwives back then. Who do you think instantly became witches? Any midwife who, does that sound like Roe v. Wade? Ain't nothing new under the sun. One is only finished and one is barely begun.
Same thing. History repeating itself. It's only so many storylines.
Bro.
As I told you about wrestling earlier. And when you understand, you're like, what is he talking about? When you understand, like I said, you've been watching wrestling so long, you're like, oh, they did this when I was a kid. I know what's going to happen.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, they did this in the past. I know what's about to happen.
My preacher but yeah, the underlying idea, man, is that women should stay at home and have babies. And if you don't, we bring you up on witchcrafting charges. That submissified, I don't know if that's a word, but made the women submissive, man. That wanted to, that you had to be a productive part of society, like the same way that people are looked at today, but a woman's job was that. So we can blame James VI. So the more you know, the more you know. So don't think that what's going on today has not happened before. And I just advise maybe people to look at how it ended, what that led to. But that's crazy.
And just like, so back to how you started it about like capitalism eating itself. It gets so bad for the people at the bottom. They're like, I don't even want to have a child right now. I can't afford a child right now.
I've heard plenty of people say that.
Right. I mean, that's
today.
Everybody that hears that is going to be like, yeah, we know somebody. At least it might be the one that's hearing it. But so then they stop having those babies. So then the birth rate drops. So then who's going to be those bottom feeders at the bottom that fuel the top? So guys, it has to reset. Something has to happen. Something has to give. That's the reset he's talking about, of just the reset of capitalism. Like, all right, we got to reinvent ourselves too. It don't even be for the good of the people, even though it might appear to be like, but we need more. We need more.
What do you mean, like slavery? Like ending slavery and then the Industrial Revolution coming along?
Right. Anything basically that is produced from capitalism to make it better for the people. Like, oh, something's passed and now people feel more comfortable to have these kids and to, reproduce more. At the end of the day, it ain't just out of the goodness of someone's heart to just, you know what, let's make their lives. It's like, no, we need to increase this to fuel this. It's always an agenda. It's always something deeper than what it actually is. Like, with capitalism, like it ain't free. There's nothing free in this shit.
And it never benefits us. It never benefits us. It only benefits a very small group of people. It's called robber barons at the inception of this country. You can look it up. Ain't no difference, man.
We could go deeper into that, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
We in late stages.
It's always in late stages in a form.
But right.
So Iran may be the new one, us going down to Maduro, whatever his name was.
I want to say Venezuela.
Venezuela, my bad. Why was I going to say that? I knew that. I wanted to say Colombia first. Venezuela's right beside Colombia. I don't know why I was about to say El Salvador. Less Venezuela, oil, us getting our big oil tycoons in the name of, even that's interesting dynamic. Nonetheless, today, you ever felt like, you ever thought about somebody and then they texted you or called you? You ever had a moment in the universe where you're like, no, I was just doing this thinking that I've been here before, I've seen this before. wow, this makes sense. Do you ever have those moments where you're convinced the universe and everything in you and outside of you is just aligned in the moment?
Yes, happens often. I think in our early 20s, that's when I started paying attention to that type of stuff. Then the more it happens, the better you get at recognizing it. Like,
That's the
I
truth.
don't necessarily point it out every single time, but I just be like, wow, this happened and then that happened. And then I was wondering why this was going this way. And then it's finally revealed. And then the actual reveal ain't even the final thing. Like, it's just, yes, like, absolutely. Or just simply thinking of somebody like, oh, I've been on my game and be like, I wonder what my girl's doing. Vroom, you know what I mean? Just like, yeah, happens often.
Synchronicity is real. It was coined by a dude named Carl Jung. I'm sure that's a popular name for people who are.
Absolutely.
I was about to say that's a
That's the
popular
man.
name.
That's the man.
So you know what a golden scarab is?
Think so.
It's that Egyptian beetle
Yeah.
from like the mummy. Um, no, he's a psychologist,
He's like the
psychiatrist.
father of it.
Yeah, he's like the father of it. So a lady comes in, she's like, basically I keep having this dream. I don't know what it means about this beetle. It's just comes up to me and something, blah, blah, blah. And so he's writing this down, right? Like me and you are talking right now. And something starts to
Window,
tap it.
don't he?
He starts tapping at the window, opens the window, beetle flies in, he catches it, looks at it for a second,
You
hands
mean
it
this
to
one?
her. You mean this one? And she breaks down.
David Blaine ass.
So from that day, synchronicity was coined. I just had to put that out for people who don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I'm just like, for that, it was coined by the event actually happening. The creator of it was the test subject of the universe. You know what I'm saying? So for people, I would advise people who just be like, God don't talk to me. I know God don't talk to you. God don't talk to nobody. God wasn't talking to nobody. Go back and look at I ain't gonna say just Jesus. I guess he talked to Abraham or some other people with some covenants. But nonetheless, symbolically, that's how God talks to you. So, or, through
Gotta pay
scenarios.
attention.
So the more, like Rashad said, the more you pay attention, the more you understand it, the more you see it, the more you respect it, the more it conjures itself over and over again. So it's just like a muscle at some point. But I don't know. I just believe in it like wholeheartedly.
Oh, for
I
sure.
wholeheartedly believe in those
There's
moments.
moments where you feel like the universe is staring at you. Like, you set this scene up for me. And it's weird. Like, I don't know how to feel right now. I feel it. Like, this was all, but it was masterfully crafted. Everything that you did over the last
Up to
month
this point,
made go there, and this
specifically.
happened. And that person, so like, let's say like that's why I love those movies where it's about one scene, but the movie is showing you from 5 different people's perspective and how their day went to get them to that moment. Like, I love it's stuff like that. This is weird. Like, I can't explain it. Like, yeah, that's like he says how God talks to you. It's in the details.
Think of moments that I've had like the true synchronicity that I can remember instead of just,
Right.
I feel like more,
Anything like
I don't know, I'm trying to think, like real synchronicity.
recently for me, where it was just like, wow, I feel it staring at me.
I feel like
Like, I
conversations.
specifically asked for this, and it's here.
I feel like it's conversations I have with people. It manifests itself more so, and just like things I've never talked about, and I'm talking about it with somebody, and it's just like, oh yeah, I feel the same way, or just like a lot of those times more so. I feel like the conversation with me, you, and Study on the pod was one of those like moments of like synchronicity, or just like I feel like it's once I start entering like a zone of like thinking or being, where it's a flow state, where it's like I'm not even like necessarily like trying to talk or come up with things. It's just like things are like almost like pouring out of you to a certain extent. And you can't stop them, but it's almost like not like genius, but it's almost like revelatory. Like, it's like revelation. It's like a revelation or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
No, I hear you.
a build up to, and it's euphoric in a way. Like when it hits your head and you feel it, like to me, this is the way I feel. Like I almost feel like a euphoria that comes along with like that kind of like thinking where
You
it's like it unlocks something where I'm like,
you know what to
I'll,
compare it to?
I feel high. I feel high. That's what I
It's
would
the
compare it to.
same feeling, like, that just where everything's connecting in your head. You are so aware of everything. And it's just like, oh my, like the dots just connected. So no, it does. And when you're done with that conversation, like you actually almost don't want it to end. I'm sure that's how
Yep.
all three of us felt on that
Yep.
study episode. We're like, this it's a high. Like you don't get that all the time with conversations. Like when it comes, you're just like, bro, I could talk like this for another 5 hours. I know we got to go to sleep. We all got lives, but like I could do this. Like, and then when you're done with it, you're like coming down off that high.
Reminds me of like when you were a kid and like you stay up late or something like that, and you're like on the phone or you just like over somebody's crib or just something like that, and like just eventually just like talking or just like and it enters just like a space where it's just like it feels like the world like almost doesn't exist and like only y'all's the thing between y'all is like it's almost like heavy or electric or like you can feel it, you know what I'm saying? Like there's almost like an intimacy to it that like you said, even like the universe kind of slowed down and it's just kind of like listening. Just kind of like looking and observing. Those are the times where I felt it lately in that kind of way. So I don't know if it's some psilocybin,
Sure.
natural psilocybin released or something like that, but something microdose.
Right. Microdose forever.
But no, that's why it's good to have conversations, man. That's why shit's healing. No, we just be texting and shit like that, but you know, I'm sure kids were like, why is that so different? Why does it matter? I've never gotten that feeling from texting,
Nope.
you know.
You might got a little serotonin, a girl say something, you're like,
But it's
ooh,
a
but
hint.
like
It's not the same as
it's
talking
not
to a
it's
chick on the
right.
phone, like when we was
And it's
kids, we
connecting.
was
And
growing
it
up or
actually
something like that.
connecting.
Yep, and then actually talking,
You sitting there
listening,
just cheesing like, yeah, like on the
talk
phone.
right, exactly. Like she say
It's
something
like,
like it's
hey.
different when she say something than just text something. Like it's different, you know?
So no, that's real. That's human interaction. Like it's different. It ain't the same. And this is coming from a person I don't like talking on the phone necessarily, but it's more so of a thought of be with me in person. You know what I mean? We can
Right.
like I don't like having full-fledged talks on the
Convos.
phone. Like I'd be like, here, tell me what you need to tell me, and then let's get off the phone. But if
Me
you want to
too.
see me, say that. Like
Right.
we can have this you know what I mean, this convo in person, and then I think it'll flow better. It'll be
It
better.
means more.
Right. And you might get that
Right,
feeling that we
exactly.
talking about, that flow state where you're just like, dang, I respect this person more now. I see this person more
Right, by
now.
seeing 'em for who they are, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just mhm. So synchronicity. That's really all I got on that.
Yep. Cause that could keep going too. So yeah, that's cool.
Get into UofL sports or anything?
We can skip it because like I said, it's just like a timeline of like how we got to where us and Israel is bombing and teaming up on Iran. And it's basically to summarize it, this has been going on since
53? Was that when the Rothschild finally made it like a state or some shit?
I don't know exactly. I know that's
Something to do right. You
in
know
the
it's a
lore,
thing.
but this it basically started with the US and the UK. We were in a coup that we took down their oil industry or something, and then it continues where we sound familiar. We took down their leader, and then then some of the people revolt, and then a bunch of what's it called, like orders and stuff put on them. Basically, like, bro, think of it this way. I know we America, and everybody's like, yeah, go America, but like, imagine you doing your thing, good or bad, whatever it is, but you know what I mean? You on your part. I built this. I did this. And somebody just keeps coming and like, nah, you can't do that. Matter of fact, we're about to stop you. Or we're about to do this and we're about to put sanctions on you. We're about to do that. And then it's just going back and forth for years. And then y'all retaliate, but it's like, oh, y'all did that. And bro, we were just retaliating to what you did to us. Like, we didn't just, you know what I mean? So it's just that back and forth basically all the way up until present day where it's just still going. And US and Israel are, of course, on the same side. And we all, throughout history, continue to keep backing each other and coming out being like, I stand with Israel, I stand with the United States. It is what it is. What you're seeing is what you're getting. Could, in retrospect, beginning of World War III, like for real.
Same thing I said.
It could be.
Once you start bringing Kuwait and everybody else into it,
Mhm. I
which
mean,
is
that's how they start. Like, everybody's like, well, shit, I'm about to go help my people. And they're like, well, we jumping in if you jump in. And it's just.
I know someone who was supposed to get deployed to Kuwait, so that was crazy. I'm glad he did not before all the bases started getting hit. And then I know I got a cousin, he's a pilot. He's over in Saudi Arabia. He's only 100 miles away from the border, so he hears it. He's hearing it. So a lot of people talk shit and be, go to war, this and that, blah, blah. That shit affects people, man. It affects people. I know multiple people who it's going to affect if that becomes a thing. And that's why people, let's do this to Iran. I don't want to do nothing to nobody. That's why I don't like being a bully, because I'm always fighting.
You either always attacking or you're always getting retaliated against. Somebody's had enough.
But you're always fighting.
You're always fighting, right.
So.
And that wraps back around, you said the people it affect. Who the bottom people that hold up the engine? The top people are in offices and in places with money and just like, yeah, let's do this. It's gonna be your cousin and your uncle and your little brother and your sister and your mom, or not mom, but you know what I mean? Those people
Could
that
be.
you know, right, could be.
Could
that
be.
are gonna go put their feet on the ground and execute these orders. So
hearts with the people of the Middle East, all of them too. I don't care what side you really on, because now your space is used as a battleground. It's just not cool. All right, you about basketball?
UofL basketball.
Ladies first, gentlemen.
Right.
Ladies first. Shout out to our ladies today.
All right, I'm gonna let you handle that because he was at the actual game.
Was at the game, and I took my two beautiful little daughters to their first game together at the Yum Center. They did great, actually. So shout out to them. Shout out to my daughters. No, it was a good game from the start. No, like it was slow. It wasn't necessarily boring because like we were making defensive plays in order to keep the score down. Pinning shit to the backboard. Shout out Naya. Smack somebody's shit off the backboard. She's athletic as hell. I know. So I'm like, women's basketball is different now. Women's basketball is different. Shout out to Monty Berry. She did her thing today. That's me and Rashad both love her. Shout out to Raina Scott and Laura Ziegler. Senior day, our two seniors, both transfers. So the whole team will be back besides them, theoretically. NIL, that's not necessarily true.
Right.
Shout out to Jada Curry. She was in the building today. Shout out to Jeff Brom. He was in the building today. But I thought our women fought, man. Thought they played relatively good defense. A little clunky. Our seniors didn't play well. Like, it was senior day and they didn't play well. I thought that was, sometimes that's par for the course. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the pressure, your last game in the building. So, offensively, we just didn't shoot well, though. We started out, we just wasn't shooting well. When you look at them in comparison, like, they weren't too bad, but I thought they scored on a lot of ours. We rebounded well. Like I said, Barry played well. But we just played like, we go through like stretches, man, in the first half that we can't make up for in the second half. We started the game and we held them to like Rashad. Like the first 8 minutes, we held them 4 points. Then midway through the second quarter, we were down by 10. That's just lethargic. And then they threw a zone at us and we couldn't figure it out. And then we were being kind of like lazy. And that happens with a team that only has 2 seniors on it. I can see that, where it's like they don't really know, the movement ain't the same versus man's. And then Hannah Hidalgo heated up. I mean, we left the game close enough where she heated up, and she had 30 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and 5 steals. And that'd be fine.
Let's drop the triple-double.
A 30-point triple-double. And that'd be fine if we didn't let their second player go like 5 of 8 from 3. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what killed us. It wasn't the fact that Hannah's going to do Hannah. That's what she is. But the fact that we shot ourselves in the foot on so many turnovers, like we had like 16 or 18. You know what I'm saying? Just all that combined to give a team like that who's offensively challenged more scoring opportunities, and then let their second best player like have a good game as well to support Hannah, where she would have just been out there all by herself. That's what killed us. So we got some trends that we just can't break. We have lows or we have slow starts, and they're too large or wide to overcome. You know what I'm saying? So this is something to look at with the girls team. Thought they played good defense, man. Like as a team, like Hannah's tough, but thought they played good defense. They just didn't, too many breakdowns still, nonetheless. So it's just, and we didn't shoot well. Like nobody had a good game really. Taj, Raina, Laura, I just didn't see that either. So I think if we play them again, we'll beat them though. But that zone kind of threw us and put us in a low. So that's basically the synopsis of that game.
Too much added up.
Yep. Small cuts, death by 1,000 cuts. And then you leave the game close, handle her doggo, she's gonna do what she does. And that's the reason she is who she is. She's like that. So, and then UofL's men. We're on a skid, boy. We're on a skiddy skid.
This is the worst time to be on a skid. Just going, now not going, it is March. We're here. And think about that feeling in them first couple of weeks where our chest was out. And I mean, the fan base, everybody.
After
He's
the
like,
UK win,
hey,
specifically.
right, especially after that. Hey, like we going to we a Final Four caliber
We Final
team.
Four count. Right, exactly. It wasn't just local writers, it was national writers too.
There was that thing, championship teams win this many games before Thanksgiving, and UofL's one of them
Right, and
teams.
one of them, my gosh.
Pat Kelsey was, you see my kill swoop. You know what I mean? Those press conferences sounded way different than what they sound like right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with, it's the second year in a row we burnt out at the end.
Yep, that's the main.
I'm trying not to put certain trends on the Pat Kelsey. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, you just started up, you did come from mid-major, you're in ACC now, and you're like figuring out how long what it takes to actually reach that final goal? Or is this like something your teams do?
Yeah, I said the same thing.
And this is really all I got for the game, and just overall, like, another disappointing loss. Same issue, same problems. We shoot too many threes. They're not falling. We have no inside game. No one's driving to the rim. We got players playing out of position, which causes them not to be as effective as they could be. Defense is non-existent. We have no real rim protectors. Burning out late in the season, like I just mentioned. Everything depends on if we hot or not. Like, as far as the actual tournament, we could, if we're shooting like we shot against, let's say, an NC State, we could go to the Sweet 16 off just that firepower. If we're not, we could get eliminated the first round like we did last season.
We can get eliminated the first half like we did last season.
That we'll know it's over. Right. That's too volatile. Like, that's the summary of our season, though. That would be the summary of our season in one game. It's like, I don't know which team we about to get. We're going to see. That first game against Duke, yeah, we can run with them. But also look at the Wake Forest games and the Boston College games. Like, yes, we won. We ended up winning. Where it was kind of like, man, this is an actual game, and it shouldn't be. Which team we going to get in this tournament? I don't know. That's too scary. Be, like I said, burnt out like we did last season. That's what it's looking like. This is when you should be surging, like Duke, who, as the season continue, the games will get worse between us. Like I just said, that first game was, solid game. Then we go to, when we went to Duke, washed us. And if we played them again right now, I think it would be even worse than when we just played them.
That's why we can't lose. We're the 7th seed. If we fall down to the 8 or 9, we're going to play them second game, we'll play them. But if not, then we'll have a road to either Virginia and Miami and then to the championship again, which is very possible. It's very possible. I'm not going to say it's probable because we don't beat good teams, and they're relatively good teams.
And we shouldn't be feeling like this. Like, that feeling of what we were talking about, like after the Kentucky game, that feeling, we put us on the court with anybody. And you know what I mean? It's how we felt. I don't care. Here, there, this tournament, that tournament. Now it's kind of like, now we walking on eggshells like, I hope we don't get that seed or this seed or go up against, like.
We'll get to that then. Michael didn't start because of his back. Mid-start. Start was mid. What we go on? They go on a 9-point run. We go on a 9-point run. They went on a 3-turnover run. We went on a 9-point run, then we went on a 3-turnover run. The bench didn't seem to be doing that well until Khalifa hit that 3, of course, but still didn't do that well. I remember Buckner ran through Kobe's chest for an and one. And then he did like this. He was like, too little. I didn't like that. I thought that that didn't look right to me, him doing like that. I looked more like little penis, and I didn't like that. Thought that made me uncomfortable.
Or the girls with the...
Yeah, it felt sassy. Like, it felt sassy. So he might be on our sassy list, but nonetheless, I'd literally give him oddball of the week. Because,
I like that.
Yeah, so we want to start getting into, like, actual players. First one I got to start with is McNeely. He can't play 27 minutes. Woolley has got to play He's got to play 18 minutes, especially if he's going to shoot like that. I think the last few games he's been like, he shot like less than 30%. So I'd rather just play Woolley. If you're going to shoot that percentage, Woolley can do that and play hella defense. So I feel like Pat, what he does is he plays lineups with the highest offensive ceiling because that's what he wants to do, is score a lot of points, even at his expense when the ball's not going in. So instead of just making that adjustment and putting more of a defensive lineup in there, not breaking your rule, but bending to the appropriateness that the moment offers, and you're not doing that. You're still sticking and you're not changing even when. That's insane. That's borderline insanity, right? That's as you're bordering on insanity. That's why Pat's getting a lot of, because it's like,
that's
why don't
why
you
that's
just
why
do
my heats or my little rant sounded like that. Like I didn't even get into the
right?
like I'm probably gonna agree with everything you're saying as far as this player shouldn't, but I'm like tired of everybody saying this. This isn't groundbreaking stuff. Everybody knows this. Why doesn't he know this? Like I would like to hear him specifically say it
Right.
instead of general pit patting, just like McNeil ain't on the bench because of blah. Whatever it is. Like
Yep.
so. Anyways,
But like, that needs to be a motivator though. Like, why can't the bitch be a motivator? You know what I'm saying? Like, get over here, bro. Sit down, bro. You don't. And that's where going from 27 to 18 is off top. It's like, nah, bro, sit down. I'm trying to think. I love how when they get stale offensively, Hadley just always comes through and tries to find him a tough two. And he couldn't do that late in the second half because they're freaking huge. And eventually he met his match. But he did do that multiple times in the game. This is one thing that gets me just in basketball in general and specifically with Conwell. Why are you taking 50-50 chance blocking calls? Why are you leaving it in the hands of somebody else? You're too important of a player. If you don't think it's going to be a charge, don't do it at all. Picking up a second foul off some bullshit is unnecessary. Like, that's just the way I feel about it. And then also, I hate that since acting's become such a thing with basketball, that I hate this specifically, just this scenario, Rashad, in all of basketball. A player it's a loose ball and two are running to it, and like a player gets called for like a foul or something like that, or like the player hurry up and like gets her in flops or something like that. I'm just kind of like, sometimes a person who doesn't put in like the effort ends up getting a foul call, or puts in like, I don't know, like say they're both running hard, but the person who is actually more aggressive gets the foul call, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've noticed that in basketball where like the flopping is coming in certain places, like the loose ball, and the loose ball should be pure. Like, that should be a pure competitive component to basketball, not let me try to draw a foul off a loose ball. Like, I feel like that's when we start being like, okay, I'll let you run and fake some stuff or whatever.
don't let me be the ref. I'm gonna have heat from the because I'm gonna be like, no, I seen him. No, I'm not calling it. And that's
just the way
going
I feel.
Reinforce it for this game early. Hey, you better stop flopping because I'm not calling it, bro.
And then Frew had an and one where he got where he like sized him up, and then it was like a blocking foul, but he took 2 steps, bro. I'm like, bro, y'all just doing whatever. Y'all doing just absolutely whatever. 2 steps? Bro, it's only 1 step he gets. He got 2. I'm sure somebody, no, you can take a full gather, and a gather is steps. I don't care about that. I don't. My man literally took 2 steps after the block.
Yeah.
I mean, we got it.
About.
We got
Right.
the points, but still, nonetheless. Then of course Michael's back acted up in the second half. That had a lot to do with, going back to what you just to finish it off, like the offensive ceiling stuff is just like, you're playing that. Our D wasn't bad, but it didn't match the intensity. So, I don't know why, but like whenever it broke down, the ball kept finding that one dude, and he was just killing us.
I was like,
every time he was finding him.
It's going in, like, especially as against Louisville. Against Louisville, somebody gonna have a career night. Like, it just is what it is. You like
Porter.
Yep,
that was
that's
his name.
going
Porter. It seemed like every opportune time the ball found him, though. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and then he was banging that shit. So, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so our D wasn't bad. And for a team going down into the second half on the road, like I said, Pat plays just shooter lineups and 3-guard lineups. He's not gonna run away from the 3-guard lineup. It's just like, And then my thing is, when you do that, your offense has to have like a certain floor, right? Like, not a ceiling, but a floor, right? to
It can't
complement
go
your
below this.
defense. Because to complement your defense. So when you're missing threes and you're putting up 36, 40 threes, and that made me think, when Louisville, it said something about Louisville second in the ACC or something, or first in threes made. But look at how many we put. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
You got to put the full context in. That's all it is. You just drop out for a second?
Yeah.
All right.
But do you think the offense is going to travel?
It might, maybe. Probably not based on the numbers, right?
Okay, that's what I was about to say. So that's all I'm saying about breaking down Pat Kelsey's philosophy and what I see in it. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up, and the numbers support that. Actually, usually you have to no, they plainly support it. So when you
straight up,
when you don't make changes, what do I say? You know what I'm saying? He's an analytics guy too. That's just things like that. Like, I'm not mad at Pat, but he is who he is, and he's still learning on the fly. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Good or bad, this is Louisville. You shouldn't be. It is what it is.
This is the only advice, if I got to literally personally, you got 30 seconds to tell him something. Recruit a big man that we can depend on, and emphasize more on defense. That's blueprints of Louisville. You know what I mean? Louisville basketball. I understand you taking it in your direction, but I'm going to be honest. A lot of people might not agree with me on this. Ignoring that stuff is the stuff that'll get you ran out. That's the stuff that, for real. If you got a solid big man, y'all play defense, that literally those two alone will earn you more time of he's trying. You know what I mean? You don't do that stuff. And we just coming down shooting and pulling, and people, I'm hearing this more and more. I can't watch it. I can't watch it.
For real.
I can't watch a game.
I
eventually turn it off.
Well, people, okay, so that's, yes, you're saying what people are saying.
Right.
When you're hitting threes, it looks good, but it's not a good product to watch, like you're saying. Because what happens when the ball's not going in? That's not basketball. Basketball is willing your way to actually win in all situations. When you play a team where the ball isn't going in, then how are you going to muster it in? How are you going to put yourself in the most positions instead of just relying on, well, this is how we're going to play, and this is how we're going to play off the defense and blah, blah. It's just sometimes you got to know. This is the set we run, and this is how we need to execute it against whatever the defense is. Zone, man, blah, blah, blah. I feel that way about Pat. Yeah, but he has to figure out those two things. Those are easily the top two things. You're gonna have to let go of your defensive coach, and you're gonna have to find big men, legit big men. So,
very last thing for me about all of it, we need a certain toughness. We need a certain toughness. I can't explain it all, but it's just
especially in our front court. Especially in our front court. Look at who is our front court. So for me, I think they just personally win one game. They're going to split the last two games. They could very well, depending on just whatever, they could very well make it to the ACC championship, dog. If they stay the 7th seed, they could easily make it, bro. I'm not going to say easily. They could possibly make it.
It could happen, right.
The ACC's down is not the same thing. I don't hear that this year. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear it as much, which means Virginia and Miami are a little bit better than, as the 2 and 3 seeds projected going into the tournament. A little bit better than I'm not going to say we're just going to go in there and beat them, because we've lost to Virginia already, and then we finished at Miami. So we'll see what we look like in that game.
You mean our last two games?
Our last two games are Syracuse and Miami.
Yeah.
But we lost to Virginia already, and I'm just saying possibility if we did win our first round game in the ACC tournament as a 7th seed, we're going to play probably Virginia. And if we won that game, we're probably going to play Miami. But that's better than playing Duke. So we could very well repeat the same thing we did last year, Rashad, and that's I went to the ACC championship game and get smacked by Duke again.
Same old.
So just something to think about.
It could happen.
So I don't think there's anything else sports-wise related. I don't really think so.
Nope. Ain't nothing to talk about the NBA, bro. It's so boring right now.
Oh, it's just trash.
Honestly speaking.
That shit's trash. That shit's trash. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else. I don't even know why to. Not on my end, so.
I am good. I got all my stuff off.
That's a bet. All right, people. Well, we appreciate y'all rocking with the iPod again, man. Rate, review, subscribe. Follow us for all the people we mentioned on our Instagram. I mean, geez Louise, I don't even know where to start. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Shavely Boys, bigandlazy.com. Shout out to Cash Mob. Shout out to Tone. Shout out to Steady. Go download Real Legend. Shout out to Forrestt. Go check out all our past episodes, our clips, man. There's a lot of good stuff in there. It was a great Black History Month. Shanasi, Great Black History Month, Charlene. We got shout out to Shay, NFL agent. I mean, I'm telling y'all, man. So tap in with us one time for the one time. But y'all have a great week. Enjoy. One love from the iPod. Later.